Hashtag how to travel the world on a budget. Hashtag a TravelSphere documentary. Every single year, millions of people stare at their screens, scrolling through photographs of golden sunsets over Santorini, bustling night markets in Bangkok, and ancient ruins in Peru, thinking to themselves, I could never afford that. But here is the truth that the travel industry does not want you to know. The biggest barrier between you and the world is not your bank account. It is your information. Because the people filling those photographs, many of them are doing it on less money than you spend on groceries every month. Budget travel is not a new concept, but the tools, strategies, and systems available to modern travelers have completely transformed what is actually possible. In the 1970s and 80s, backpackers relied on word of mouth and dog-eared guidebooks to find cheap hostels and affordable meals. Today, you have algorithmic flight search engines, loyalty point systems worth tens of thousands of dollars, entire communities dedicated to mistake fares, and accommodation platforms that let you sleep for free in someone's spare room in Tokyo. The landscape has shifted dramatically, and knowing how to navigate it makes the difference between a 3-day weekend trip and a 3-month international adventure, for the same budget. Let's start with the single most expensive part of any international trip, the flight. Flights typically consume between 40 and 60% of a traveler's total budget, which means that mastering this one element can essentially double the length of your entire journey. The first concept every budget traveler must understand is flexibility. Airlines price their seats using dynamic algorithms that adjust fares based on demand, time of booking, route competition, and dozens of other variables. When you search for a flight from New York to London on a Saturday in July, you are competing with thousands of other travelers doing the exact same thing. But if you shift that departure to a Tuesday, move your travel window to late September, or even fly into a secondary airport like Gatwick instead of Heathrow, suddenly, the price drops dramatically. Google Flights is one of the most powerful free tools available to any traveler. Its calendar view feature allows you to see an entire month of pricing at a glance, instantly revealing the cheapest days to fly. Its Explore feature lets you enter your home airport and a budget, then shows you every destination in the world reachable within that price range. Skyscanner operates similarly, and is particularly strong for finding deals originating outside the United States. Setting price alerts on both platforms means that you are essentially hiring a round-the-clock fare monitor at no cost. Travelers who book within this system regularly find transatlantic flights for under $300, and flights to Southeast Asia for under $500. Then there is the world of travel hacking, which sounds complicated, but is fundamentally simple at its core. Credit cards tied to airline and hotel loyalty programs offer sign-up bonuses that, when strategically used, translate into free flights and free accommodation. The Chase Sapphire Preferred Card, for example, has historically offered sign-up bonuses worth 60 to 80,000 points, enough for a round-trip business class ticket to Europe or multiple economy flights across Asia. The key is to apply for these cards before a major trip, meet the spending threshold using bills and expenses you were already going to pay, and then redeem those points intelligently. Families who master this system routinely fly internationally for the cost of taxes and fees alone, sometimes as low as $11 per person. Accommodation is the second major expense, and again, the gap between what most people pay and what experienced travelers pay is staggering. The average hotel room in Paris costs over €200 per night. A private room in a well-reviewed hostel in the same city runs between €30 and €50. A beautifully designed Airbnb apartment, particularly when split among 2 or 3 travelers, can cost even less per person. But even beyond paid accommodation, Couchsurfing connects travelers with local hosts offering free beds in over 200,000 cities worldwide. Workaway and Worldpackers take it a step further, allowing travelers to exchange a few hours of work per day, helping at a hostel, farm, or guest house, for free room and board. Travelers who combine these platforms can eliminate accommodation costs almost entirely for months at a time. Destination selection is where budget travel truly becomes an art form. The concept of geographic arbitrage, traveling to places where your home currency buys significantly more, is one of the most powerful financial tools available to any traveler. A daily budget of $50 in Switzerland will buy you a single meal and perhaps a coffee. That same $50 in Vietnam will cover a private hotel room, 3 full meals at excellent local restaurants, transportation across the city, and still leave money left over. Southeast Asia, Eastern Europe, Central America, and parts of South Asia consistently offer extraordinary experiences at a fraction of the cost of Western destinations. Countries like Thailand, Indonesia, Vietnam, Cambodia, Georgia, Albania, Colombia, and Mexico have vibrant traveler ecosystems built around affordable living. In Chiang Mai, Thailand, consistently ranked one of the best cities for long-term budget travelers, a month of comfortable living including accommodation, food, transportation, and entertainment costs many travelers less than $1,000 total. Tbilisi, Georgia, has emerged as one of Europe's most exciting underrated destinations, where a full day of exploring ancient churches, drinking local wine, and eating traditional Georgian food costs perhaps $15 to $20. These are not compromises. These are genuinely rich, immersive travel experiences. Food is another arena where budget consciousness meets genuine cultural discovery. The traveler, who eats exclusively at tourist-facing restaurants with menus printed in 4 languages, is paying a massive premium for familiarity. The traveler who follows locals to street food stalls, visits morning markets, and learns a few words of the local language to order without pointing, that traveler eats better food for a fraction of the price. In Bangkok's street food scene, a plate of pad see ew from a sidewalk cart costs roughly 50 Thai baht, which equals approximately $1.50. In the same city, a plate of pad thai in a restaurant marketed to tourists costs 10 to 15 times that amount for an inferior product. Street food is not just affordable, it is frequently the most authentic and delicious food a destination has to offer. Transportation within countries and between destinations deserves equal attention. Budget airlines in Europe, Ryanair, EasyJet, Wizz Air, have created a network of routes connecting dozens of cities for prices that regularly fall below €20 when booked in advance. In Asia, AirAsia provides similar connectivity across Southeast Asia. Overnight buses and overnight trains serve a dual financial purpose. They move you between cities while simultaneously replacing the cost of a night's accommodation. A 12-hour overnight bus from Ho Chi Minh City to Da Nang in Vietnam costs approximately $10 to $15 and saves you from paying for a hotel room. Budget travelers build these efficiencies into their itineraries intentionally, and the savings compound quickly. Travel insurance is one area where budget travelers should absolutely not cut corners. This might seem counterintuitive in a conversation about saving money, but a single medical emergency abroad without coverage can erase years of savings in a matter of days. A broken leg in Thailand requiring surgery can cost $30,000 without insurance. A comprehensive annual travel insurance policy from providers like World Nomads or Safety Wing costs between $150 and $300 per year for most travelers, covering medical emergencies, trip cancellations, lost luggage, and emergency evacuations. The return on investment for this particular expense is potentially infinite, and skipping it is one of the few genuine financial mistakes a budget traveler can make. Slow travel is perhaps the most underrated strategy in the entire budget travel toolkit. The traveler who spends 1 week each in 10 different countries pays airport transfer costs, last-minute booking premiums, and city hopping fees 10 separate times.